organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, some weekend arrests may affect Iowa football. We have all the details for you coming up.
And we've all heard about internet surfing, but what about internet fishing? Coming up, I'll tell you how to stay protected on the World Wide Web.
And in sports, we're talking Big Ten football after a wild weekend of conference play.
That's all coming your way next. Daily Iowan TV starts now.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for tuning in to your Sunday edition of Daily Iowan TV. I'm Nicole Meehan.
And I'm Lauren Moss. Unfortunately, we start today's show with some disappointing news from the Hawkeye football program, with more players running into trouble with the law over the weekend. Daily Iowan TV football reporter Annie Constable has the latest. Annie?
It wasn't a great bye week for the Hawkeyes as 3 members of the team are now facing alcohol-related charges. It began Friday night with junior offensive lineman Drew Clark was arrested for a public intox. Then early Saturday morning, Ray Hamilton was issued a ticket for being in Pines Bar past the time of 10 p.m. Finally, it ended here at Old Capitol Brew Works, where senior cornerback Micah Hyde was arrested for public intox and interference with official acts. Head coach Kirk Ferentz issued a statement through Iowa Sports Information stating, quote, "We will follow protocols set by the UI Student Athlete Code of Conduct, as well as taking additional measures within the program." Kirk is scheduled to meet with the press early Tuesday morning, and we'll have more for you then. Back to you in the studio.
Be sure to stay tuned in for sports, which will have more details on the details of the arrest.
The Department of Homeland Security has named October National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Today I did some investigating to find out which internet scam threatens students the most. You may think your identity is safe when you are surfing the web, but what if one day you found out that there were 2 of you? This is made possible in the age of the internet when identity theft is common. The Information Technology Services are here to help students keep their important information secure. Jane Drews from ITS says that the college students are especially vulnerable to these kind of attacks.
The number one piece of advice is that you should never, ever send your password to anyone for any reason.
Not sharing your password is an obvious safeguard. This is why scam artists often offer
free stuff, vacations, prizes, computers, stuff like that,
in exchange for information. Phishing is when a scam artist sends an email attempting to get this information from a user. They can pose as a bank, university program, or any other type of company. Here's an example of a phishing email that I received. The first sign that it is a scam is in the subject field. You should never provide account verification through an email. The second clue is in the sender information. That is not a Wells Fargo email account. Finally, always hover over the link that they are asking you to click. In the bottom left corner, you will see the name of that link. If it looks unfamiliar, do not click it. Now, I do not even have a Wells Fargo banking account, so it was easy for me to detect this as a phishing scam. But for students who do have a Wells Fargo banking account, it might be easier for them to take the bait. So now you know, think before you click. If you think your email or computer has been hacked, call ITS Help Desk at 319-384-4357.
The University of Iowa Hospitals has a new clinic in Coralville, and it's generating quite a bit of a buzz. The $73 million facility is located right here in the Iowa River Landing Development in Coralville. The building will provide more specialty care in dermatology, primary care, and women's health, to name a few. The clinic is projected to see nearly 300,000 patients per year. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held over the weekend, and the new clinic is set to officially open on Monday. Still to come on Daily Iowan TV, a foreign celebration that has gained some grounding here in Iowa City. Stay with us to find out what it is.
And in sports, the Iowa women's volleyball team pulled off the biggest upset in the country.
More coming up.
But first, let's check in with Stefan Duran for a look at this week's weather. And Stefan, should I get out my rain boots for this week?
Well, Lauren, you may have to, but today we experienced some great, cool, sunny fall weather to wrap up the weekend. Tomorrow's weather will be similar to today's, but with higher temperatures. In the morning, we are going to start things off with a chilly 46 degrees. Later in the day, we will see high temps creep up into the low 60s with some partly cloudy skies. Then tomorrow evening, the skies will remain cloudy, but the temperatures will dip down to where they started in the morning. Looking forward to the rest of the week. Tuesday looks to be similar to Monday's weather, but we will see a 20% chance of showers. Wednesday will be dry, but temperatures will cool down with highs only in the upper 50s. Thursday and Friday look like they will be the nicest days of the week, with sunny skies and highs of 63 degrees on both days and lows only down into the 40s. On Saturday, we will see temps similar to what we saw the rest of the week, but you may have to pack an umbrella because rain is very likely with a 60% chance of precipitation. As a whole, the week doesn't look too bad weather-wise, but we are lucky we won't have to host a rainy Hawkeye football game on Saturday. Back to you guys.
Oktoberfest is a German celebration, but that doesn't mean it's any less popular here in Iowa City. This year marks the second annual North Side Oktoberfest celebration. It brought in hundreds of people and their friends and families. Lynn Street was always filled with many kinds of food, thanks to the nearly 20 Iowa City food vendors. Along with the widely popular beer and soda gardens, many people enjoyed activities such as jousting and dancing in the world's largest chicken dance. Crowds showed their Oktoberfest spirit by dancing in an old German attire and dancing to the folk music provided throughout the celebration.
I think this part of Iowa City, this little north end, is sort of forgotten sometimes when you think of downtown, but this is a nice part of Iowa City too. Sort of the Greenwich Village of Iowa City.
Event coordinators hope Oktoberfest will become even more popular in the years to come.
And business is better than ever right now for local stores selling Halloween attire. For seasonal clothing and accessory shops like Ragstock, the month of October generates a lot of customer traffic as students and Iowa City locals get ready for Halloween. The store stocks up on costume supplies to prepare for this busy time of year. Ragstock employees say that the sales dramatically increase as the festive holiday approaches.
During the month of October, sales goes up a lot, and our busiest day is probably the weekend before Halloween, like on the 23rd.
If you were out and about on Saturday, you might have run into some zombies along the way. The 7th annual Zombie March started at Happy Hollow Park Saturday, and people came out with their best zombie outfits and wandered through the pedestrian mall. The march ended at the Mill Restaurant late Saturday night. The Zombie March increases awareness and raises money for 2 Iowa City charities, Table to Table and East Central Iowa Autism Society.
And now let's take a look at what's happening outside of Iowa. A rare fungal meningitis outbreak across several states is posing a threat. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention says the outbreak has spread to more than 60 people across 9 states. Minnesota and Ohio are the latest states to confirm cases linked to a steroid produced at Massachusetts. They have recalled the steroid, and source of the infection is still under investigation.
And thousands of people flooded the streets of Spain to protest austerity cuts around the country. The cuts would lower the amount of benefits and public services provided. With 50% unemployment rates among Spain's youth, protesters say the cuts is an abuse to the lower social classes. These marches send a message to the government that tempers are running high in the European nation.
And just next door, French police carried out raids across the country Saturday. The raids are the aftermath of the explosion near a kosher grocery store last month. The grenade that exploded had the DNA of a recent jihadist French covert who died during a shootout with the French police last month. 11 suspects were arrested, and all were French and recent converts to Islam. President Francois Hollande praised the police for the raid and said that the state will continue to project the French against all terrorist threats.
And even though the Iowa football team was off this past weekend, plenty of Hawkeye sports were still in action, and many of them away from Iowa City. We now throw it over to Muriel Kone for more. Muriel?
Hello and welcome back to the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio. As mentioned at the top of the show, we start today's program with some troubling news coming out of the Hawkeye football program. In a full report released to members of the media, it's been confirmed that senior defensive captain Micah Hyde was taken into custody after conflict with employees of Iowa City Brewworks led to his arrest for public intoxication and interference with official acts. Hawkeye tight end Ray Hamilton was cited earlier last night for being on the premise of a licensed liquor establishment after hours, while junior offensive lineman Drew Clark was also arrested for public intoxication. For ongoing coverage, be sure to tune in to Daily Iowan TV Sports throughout the week for an exclusive interview and perspectives from those surrounding the team, player reactions, and of course, head coach Kirk Ferentz' scheduled press conference on Tuesday. While the Hawkeyes may have the weekend off, there was still a full slate of Big Ten matchups to be played. For more on a weekend on the Big Ten Conference, get ready for our first ever Big Ten Roundup.
Hi, I'm Daily Iowan pregame editor Sam Luwaji, and welcome to the Big Ten Roundup.
Biggest upset.
The biggest upset in the Big Ten this week had to be Penn State's victory over Northwestern. The Wildcats came into the game 5-0 and ranked in the top 25, and they had a double-digit lead going into the fourth quarter. But behind quarterback Matt McGloin, who's been having a sensational year this year, Penn State came back and won 39-28.
Most impressive.
Braxton Miller led the Buckeyes to a 63-38 stomping of Nebraska this weekend. Ohio State, under first-year coach Urban Meyer, the offense looks sensational. Braxton Miller looks unstoppable, and it's a shame that Ohio State is ineligible for postseason play because they could do some real damage this year. And of course, the matchup that all Hawkeye fans are watching this weekend, Michigan State took on lowly Indiana and actually had some trouble with them. They fell in an early 17-point deficit before coming back to win 31-27. Michigan State's been looking vulnerable. It's a good time for Iowa to be catching them. Running back Le'Veon Bell has been his usual dominant self, but the defense has not been as stout as a lot of people thought it was going to be entering the year. So if quarterback James Vandenberg and the Hawkeye offense can get on track this Saturday, it could be an interesting game. Thanks for tuning in to the Big Ten Roundup. Back to you guys at the desk.
And a number of Hawkeye teams are competing over the weekend as well. Perhaps the most impressive, the Iowa volleyball team. That's right, I said it, the Iowa volleyball team. The Black and Gold arguably put together their best road trip in head coach Sharon Digman's career here in Iowa City. The Hawks took down Indiana at Assembly Hall in Bloomington Friday night in impressive 3-1 fashion. But the big win came Saturday night when the Black and Gold swept aside number 12 ranked Purdue in straight sets in West Lafayette. The Field Hawks, Soccer Hawks, and cross country team all had busy weekends as well. For more on how they fared, be sure to check out Monday's edition of Whip Around and Catch Field Hockey beat reporter Cody Goodwin. Unfortunately, though, that's all the time we have here in sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek into Monday's edition of the Daily Iowan. Read about whether Iowa City's Unitarian Society is seeing the same increase in members as the national level.
And find out what is important for Iowa City small businesses for the upcoming elections.
That's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out tomorrow or anytime online at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching and have a great night.